Today's reading is yet another request, and honestly I cannot believe that we are here already, that the year 2025 is almost over and we are about to step into 2026. It's absolutely crazy, but here we are. So as you could already tell from my little spiel and the title of this reading, we are going to take a peek into what 2026 has in store for you. So yeah, this is going to be a long one yet again, because we're going to get into each of the 12 months, and it's going to be a while, I can already tell. So get comfy, get some snacks or some comfort food, some drinks, cozy blankets, whatever you need to get nice and settled in, so that you could watch the messages with ease. But as always, we are going to start off with looking at the piles that you get to choose from. This card represents pile number 1. This card represents pile number 2. And this card represents pile number 3. If you are already sure which card is calling out to you, then you can go straight into the description box down below and click on the timestamp that you need. But if you need some time, or you just need some suggestions on how to go about picking the right pile for you, then what I would recommend is pausing this video, closing your eyes, taking a few deep breaths, making sure that you are in this present moment. Also, if there are any noises or any distractions around you, if you can, try and get away from those and get yourself into a quiet space so that you could really focus on your breathing, on your physical body, getting in tune with your sensations. And as you open your eyes again and look at the piles, see what your body is reacting to. Maybe there is some sort of color that your eye is drawn to. Maybe there is some sort of symbol that keeps grabbing your attention. Maybe there is a sensation in your stomach or in your heart or somewhere in your body that you feel that is alerting you to which pile is the one for you. As I always say, please trust your intuition and follow it, but also don't forget to use your discernment as you are listening to these general messages. And above all, please keep in mind that this is supposed to be for fun. So let's keep it nice and lighthearted, and yeah, don't get too deep into the messages. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. If you are ready, then let's jump into it. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 1. My name is Helen, and I want to thank you for being here, for choosing to tune in and spend this time with me. I hope that we are going to have a lot of fun. But let me talk you through how we are going to be going about this reading today. So we are first going to read the message for this card that you chose, and that should give some sort of a semblance to your current circumstances, or what you are feeling, what you are dealing with, what you are experiencing in your life. So the message from the book should resonate with you to some degree, or at the very least sound somewhat familiar. And after that, we are also going to take a look at these oracle cards, which I'm going to put on the side here for the time being. And these oracle cards are going to tell us about the energy that you are entering into 2026 with. So again, it should give you further clues into whether this is truly your pile or not. And after you have made sure that you resonate with this part, then you can feel confident enough to start watching the main part of this reading, which is all about the year 2026 and what you can expect. So yeah, you chose this crocus card, and let's see what the message has to say about that. Okay, there we go. So let me try and show you this card as well. Like the stubborn crocus that endures the thickest frosts to bloom, you've always managed to find that part of you that is strong and unmoving when times have been tough. This part of you is a valuable ally. Try reaching for it even when you don't need it. Become familiar with it and employ its determination in your everyday life. It will only benefit you. With this strength in hand, you can achieve anything. Okay. So it feels like there is a message regarding strength, resilience, and having this inner determination to tap into and sort of exercise within yourself. But let's see what the oracle cards have to say. Okay, we have Fox, Fear, Flow, Rebirth, and Moth. So pile number 1, it definitely looks as though the energy that you are in as you are entering into 2026 is one of slight unease or unsteadiness. I feel that you are in the process of going through some sort of a shakeup or change in your life, possibly something that you weren't really prepared for or that was sprung onto you quite unexpectedly. And you seem to be doing your best to try to come out of it, to try to rise above it, to try to go with the flow, quite literally, and yeah, just sort of move past it and keep on going. Now, we have this Fox card and this Fear card. And this Fox energy is definitely one of cleverness and wittiness and being able to maneuver out of difficult situations. But I do feel that it's something that is not the easiest for you to tap into. It may be somewhat challenging, especially because it's next to this Fear card. So there could be this inner doubt or this inner voice in you that may keep telling you that you're not sure that you can do this and you're not sure that you have what it takes to succeed. And yeah, I do feel this sort of negative self-talk from both of these cards, and as well because the Fox can be a bit of a trickster energy. So I do feel that the voices that are talking to you, that are giving you this negative self-talk, are actually wrong. They are actually full of BS, basically. But it almost feels like it's somewhat of an inner demon that you kind of have to slay, right? But with this Fox again, because of the ability to adapt to certain situations and figure out a solution, no matter what the actual predicament is, I do feel that you are actually really good at figuring out a way to move through whatever this situation is or whatever these challenges are that you are potentially faced with. And again, I feel like it's not even that these challenges are all of these external situations that are cropping up, but I do feel that it's just the overall energy of unknown, of feeling this lack of stability, feeling like things are so liminal and so up in the air. Again, we have this center card here which says flow on it. And so I do feel that you are in this process of some sort of movement, some sort of motion, and I almost feel like you are being carried with it. That's why I feel that the changes that you are going through are not necessarily things that you have instigated yourself. They seem to be processes that are just carrying you with it. There are things and forces outside of your control that you kind of just have to surrender to. And again, this flow seems to be sort of taking you someplace that is meant to bring something new to your life, that is meant to revitalize something in your life, because we also have this rebirth here. And this is saying that there is clearly a time for a new beginning of some sort. And I feel like that's why you are in this process of being carried forward, or maybe even forced to let something go. But this rebirth is a clear indication that, again, you have what it takes to be like this phoenix rising from the ashes, even if it's, again, something that you have to force yourself to believe in, if it's something that you have to motivate yourself to actually go with, or to put things into action to overcome this paralyzing fear that may crop up in your mind. But we also have this moth here. And on the one hand, this is what is giving me the confirmation that you are in a bit of an unsteady place, or where things could very much be up in the air or be somewhat unstable, because moths, or especially the energy of this card, is one of going from one thing to the next and being somewhat flimsy or flaky. But the main energy that I feel off of this moth card is one of following the light, seeing some sort of light that is almost like a beacon calling you towards itself. And so I do feel that there is somewhat of a light at the end of the tunnel for you here, regardless of how small it is. And it may be small because of this moth energy, but I do feel that there is something on the horizon for you, or some sort of light that has been sparked, some sort of inspiration, some sort of opportunity that may be on the table here. Or even if it's not anything concrete, I just feel like it's this sort of mindset that you have, that even if, you know, there is doubt, even if there is fear that crops up every now and then, you seem to also be able to have this hope at the back of your mind, or you know, just feeling this belief in you that things are going to work out and that the new beginning is coming. So yeah, I'm definitely feeling a connection with this whole resilience message with the card that you chose. So it seems to be overpowering this little voice of fear in you. So yeah, really interesting energy, pile number one. It feels like you are on the brink of something quite big and transformative, but hopefully you could make sense of this part, and hopefully you recognized yourself in this. So if that is the case, then definitely stay tuned, because now we are going to start digging into the 12 months of 2026. And we are first going to get some oracle cards out for each month to give us the most significant energy or event of that month that you are likely to experience. And again, please bear in mind, as we are looking into the future, it can always change and it is in constant movement. So yeah, don't get too stuck on any of these messages. Again, please take it as entertaining and fun. Yeah, that's again something that I just wanted to remind you of. But having said all of that, let's look at the first 4 months. Okay, so pile number one, let's get straight into it. We're going to start off with January, of course, and we get this card over here, which is giving me the vibe of doing a lot of these mundane things and just sort of going about your day-to-day life. Taking care of things, and yeah, it doesn't feel like there is anything overly out of the ordinary. Now, because this card is hinting at shopping or spending money, you may feel tempted to do some more splurging, or maybe some impulse buying, going online to order things that you maybe don't necessarily need, but that just give you a sense of comfort or give you a guilty sort of a pleasure in some sense. So I wouldn't be surprised if you feel called to splurge a bit more in the month of January, to lift your spirits, to make yourself feel good, to indulge in some things that give you this good feeling. And also there may be some sales as well. Maybe there are some offers that tempt you into making some purchases that, again, maybe you don't necessarily need, but that you just want to make for yourself. I do have to point out, because we do have these two tarot cards that are opening up this oracle card, the Six of Swords in reverse and the Seven of Wands. This is most likely a very specific sort of message, or at the very least, I don't think it's going to resonate for all of you, but there may be some sort of an unexpected expense that comes up in January as well, especially because we have the Seven of Wands in reverse, which kind of feels like it's a bit disarming, or it's like it's kind of coming left field, and it may sort of take you aback for a bit or for a second, and maybe it's something that you purchased quite recently, or maybe it's something that you already have put money into previously, or that you have already had to either fix or repair or make some adjustments on, or something like that. Because the Six of Swords coming out in reverse is hinting at something kind of coming back or returning to some sort of an old state. So again, you know, if something in the household breaks down, or something needs replacing again, or something like that, I wouldn't be surprised if that sort of comes about in the month of January. Again, most likely it's not the message for all of you, but just something to be aware of. But again, if we kind of zoom out of that very specific scenario with both of these tarot cards as well, it feels like it could just further hint at not being able to really control yourself, or feeling like you don't have it in you to say no to some of these offers, or to again just buy some stuff that you don't need. And maybe, I don't know why, but I feel that this may be a more of a specific message yet again, but maybe some of you are actually buying tickets for a trip as well that you plan to take somewhere like sometime later in the year. So yeah, it's not that you are taking the trip in January, but you may be either starting to look at some tickets, or maybe you decide to buy the tickets, or something like that. Again, because of the Six of Swords, it just feels like you are not necessarily leaving just yet, but you are thinking about moving, or not moving in the sense that you are like relocating, but like moving to a new place, like trip-wise, sometime down the line. I hope that you know, it made sense. But anyway, moving on to the month of February. So we have this card over here, and this is one of those cards that always has a very energized sort of feel about it. But the interesting thing is that I feel that in the month of February, you may decide to actually separate yourself from something, or to make quite a specific move, something that may be difficult to go back on. Now, I don't think that it's anything too drastic, in the sense that it doesn't seem to be like negative or bad in nature in any sort of way. It just feels like you may decide to finally take the plunge on regarding something that you may have been considering previously, or maybe for others of you, it's something that is completely out of the blue. It's just something that you feel this sudden urge, or this strong desire to do, and you decide to kind of take the leap and just go ahead and do it. But regardless of what it actually is, or what sort of move it actually is, and how extreme of a move it is, because I feel like that is going to depend on like personal circumstances as well. So it's going to vary from person to person, but it definitely feels like you are separating yourself from something that used to be quite steadily in place, or something like that. So yeah, you may decide to make some sort of an unexpected move, and it may be something that not that it's necessarily unexpected for you, but it may be something that like shocks other people, or that comes as a surprise to other people, something that they just couldn't see coming. But this could also talk about someone important in your life making some sort of a move, or kind of shaking things up a bit, and it may yeah, it may just kind of surprise you. Regardless of which scenario it actually is, it just feels like there is going to be some sort of an electrifying message or event that takes place in the month of February. Now, we also have these two major arcana cards, and the fact that we are getting two major arcana cards is what is also giving me this confirmation that whatever move this is, it's most likely something that has a bigger impact either on your own sort of life journey or just more broadly in like other people's lives as well, or it may have this bigger effect. The reason why I say that I don't feel like it's anything too dramatic is because of this tower coming out in reverse. So when the tower comes out in reverse, it's usually something that A, was either kind of predictable, or B, it's something that isn't quite as dramatic. So it's like you are doing something that is a shakeup, but it's not like a shakeup that completely derails everything as you know it, but it may come as a shock to other people again. So the tower in reverse could talk about other people having a bit of a tower moment and not necessarily you. Or again, vice versa, that something sort of unexpected or shocking happens in someone else's life, and it kind of gets to you as well, but it's not like this first-hand experience, if that makes sense. But with the Fool, I do feel that it's most likely something that you are doing, and it's you deciding to, again, as I said, take the plunge into something new, something unfamiliar. So yeah, it feels like things are starting to sort of shift or shake up in the month of February. And it feels like things definitely get exciting here. Now, moving on to March, we have this card over here. And I do feel that it's talking about some sort of a journey or a trip. So potentially, if you are planning a trip or something like that, it may take place in the month of March for some of you, or you may just decide to take a road trip or something like that. But it definitely feels like there is some sort of a voyage or some sort of a journey that you are deciding to take in the month of March. So again, even if it's not overseas, even if it's not anywhere too far, you seem to be in the need of a change of scenery in the month of March, or it may even be something that you are having to do or that you get to do as a byproduct of your work, or like it may be something career-wise as well that kind of takes place. Now we have the King of Swords and the Two of Wands in reverse. And what these cards are giving me a confirmation on is definitely this need of change of scenery. Because the Two of Wands is coming out in reverse, it feels like there is a lack of vision, or there is a lack of a goal or something to strive towards, or it just may be somewhat hazy. And the King of Swords is hinting at this vision or this clear-mindedness, this strategy. So it feels like you are needing a different sort of perspective, and that's why you may decide to take this road trip or go on some sort of a journey. Maybe some of you are going on some sort of a trek as well. But for others of you, it could simply hint at this journey being more so mental. So you could be working through things or going on a journey, learning and studying and expanding within your mind or within your perspective. So it might be that you are not necessarily physically taking a trip, but it's something that you are processing internally. Now, moving on to April, we have this little card over here. And what this is saying is that in the month of April, first off, it may be more of a social month for you. It may be a month where you have more of these events to attend or more of these social gatherings or get-togethers. There may also be, because that's something that I heard instantly when I saw this card, there may also be a very important date that you have in the month of April, or simply a very important meeting that may offer some sort of opportunity for you, or it may open up some doors or something like that for the future. Now, we have these these three tarot cards that came out. We have the Seven of Swords, the Ace of Swords, both of which are coming out in reverse, and we have the Chariot. So with the Seven of Swords coming out in reverse, it definitely feels like there is some sort of a secret or some sort of information that has previously been hidden that is going to come to light. With the Ace of Swords in reverse, again, it almost feels like there is some sort of information that is coming in that you almost can't believe, or that you have a hard time taking as reality or taking as something believable, something credible. But I do feel that it's, it almost feels like there has been something that someone has been wanting to tell you, but hasn't been able to. It just feels like some sort of information that has previously been kept to oneself is going to be revealed, and it might very well happen during this important meeting or this important date. So that's what I feel for some of you. Most likely it's more of a specific message yet again, but more broadly, information is coming to light, and with the Chariot coming out upright, it's definitely something that is going to take you forward, or is going to sort of escalate things to move to the next stage or to move to the next level. So you may have some sort of a decision to make, or this opportunity that you are presented with. It could take you to whole new levels, or it could, again, sort of elevate you in some sense, or be some sort of an important stepping stone. But it just feels like there is some, like this information is going to get things moving. It's going to start a process of some kind. Again, we are dealing with major arcana, so it's most likely something that is somewhat out of your control and somewhat fated. But I feel like there is a lot of potential for the future. So let's scoop these cards up a bit, and let's take a look at the next 4 months. Okay, so let's move on swiftly to the month of May. And we have this card that depicts divination and all of these esoteric practices, everything that has to do with the occult. And let's see if this card is focusing. There we go. And I do feel most strongly that in the month of May, you may be seeking some answers, or there may be this feeling of needing to have some clarity, needing to consult something or someone. You may actually feel called to get a tarot reading, a personal one-on-one tarot reading. Maybe you feel called to dig into the astrological transits, or look into human design, or just find out more about these, again, these esoteric practices, and find some answers that way, because we have the Devil in reverse and the Queen of Pentacles coming through over here. And I do feel that you are yearning for some sort of sense of groundedness, or sense of control here. Especially with the Devil in reverse, there may be a feeling, or there may be something that brings this feeling about in you, that you are not in control of things, but that you want to be in control of things. Especially with the Queen of Pentacles coming out upright, it feels like you are yearning for the sense of feeling grounded and feeling secure and feeling, again, in control, because the Queen of Pentacles is very much hands-on, in control of things. It could be because you have an important decision to make, as we were talking about in the month of April. Okay, sorry, the camera was out of focus. But anyway, it may be tied to the month of April, where you are presented with something, and maybe it's one of those decisions that you don't exactly know how to make, or you have a very hard time deciding on. And so it's almost like you feel that you want this outside confirmation, or you want someone to tell you that you are doing the right thing, or that you are going in the right direction, your mind is in the right place, that sort of thing. But yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you feel really inclined to dig into some of these esoteric practices, or sort of connect with something, some sort of divine energies or psychic energies to sort of give you an indication of how to proceed or where to go. Again, it feels like you are really wanting to have some control and feel more in control in the month of May. Now, we are moving on to June, and this one is really interesting because I do feel a strong energy of manipulation coming through, and it's interesting because I feel like it's not actually tied to you necessarily. I do feel that it may be coming from a specific person, and that they may be trying to persuade you or get you to sort of agree with them or move along with some sort of plan or some sort of endeavor. So yeah, I don't want you to feel like this is anything menacing or anything too serious. Most likely it's not. It may even be something really trivial, but it just feels like someone is trying to get you to go along with their plan or go along with their vision, agree with them, something like that. And I do feel that it's coming from this King of Pentacles person. This King of Pentacles doesn't have to be male, by the way. It's just coming through as this King of Pentacles archetype. So most likely they are someone who is very sort of stable, very practical, very grounded, maybe more cautious as well. I don't know, maybe they have more of an authoritative position, either at work or just have an authoritative energy about them. But yeah, it feels like with this Two of Pentacles that they are trying to talk you into something, or that they're trying to persuade you to pivot to their liking or something like that, to go along with something. Because the Two of Pentacles is a card of kind of juggling or having two things to consider, and it may be that they are part of a decision of some kind, or again that they have some sort of a plan and they want you to be a part of it. So yeah, it just feels like in June, you know, there may be some influencing that is going on, some persuading, that type of thing. But yeah, we are moving on to the month of July, and I am loving the month of July for you, pile number one, because it feels like such a good and joyful month. We have this card over here, and it definitely feels like there is some kind of breakthrough that is occurring in the month of July. Something becomes really clear, or something just kind of clicks, and suddenly things just work and things make sense and things are going the way that they are meant to go. And it just feels like everything is working. Like you can kind of take a break from thinking and planning and considering and all of that. It feels like it's kind of just a bit of a respite sort of month for you, or at the very least, if it's not like the whole energy of the month, then it may be that there is this moment that just kind of makes everything a lot more easy. But I do actually feel, because we have the Four of Wands and the Lovers cards coming out, I do feel that it's more general than that. I feel like the month of July more generally feels more enjoyable. It feels more free, feels more pleasurable. There seem to be events that you attend or experiences that you get which just make you feel good and seen and relaxed and happy, and like you can just enjoy yourself, and like you can just enjoy life. So I mean, the Four of Wands is a card of stability as well. There is some sort of a milestone that is reached, and with the Lovers it just feels like you feel whole, or you feel complete. You feel like you are good with some sort of a decision, because the Lovers can also talk about a choice having to be made. And with the Four of Wands, it feels like whatever this choice is, it's either something that you can make with ease, it's not something challenging, but it also feels like you are actually really good about this choice that you are either making or that you have made. But again, regardless, it just feels like the month of July is one full of fun, enjoyment, possibly some cool events, just enjoying yourself, enjoying life with either your family, your friends, your soul tribe, and just feeling really good and feeling like things are the way that they are meant to be. So this is really cool because, yeah, it feels like something just like blooms. But let's move on to the month of August. And the month of August looks like it's going to be quite active. It feels like there are some hobbies, some interests, some sort of leisure activities that are going to be on the forefront for you. Maybe because, I mean, for very many people, summertime is the time of vacations and holidays and taking time off work. So it may be that is really the focus for you. Maybe you even take up a sport of some kind as well, or start a hobby. But I do have to say, I felt more of a specific message potentially yet again, especially with the Six of Pentacles and the Emperor as well, that for some of you, especially if you have a passion project of some kind, or you have some sort of hobby that you enjoy doing, in the month of August, you may actually decide to start making money with it, or to capitalize on it somehow. So the Emperor is giving me like boss vibes, or deciding to take something and make it more structured, make something more stable, or making something more serious, taking something to the next level and really taking charge of this. And especially with the Six of Pentacles, which is all about like exchanging money or exchanging resources. It doesn't have to be necessarily money, but it just feels like there is some sort of an exchange happening here. You may very well decide to either, again, start making money with this hobby or this sort of side hustle of yours. Maybe you get more busy if you are already making money off of a hobby of yours. So like sales may be increasing, or maybe you are having to expand upon your business. Maybe you are having to hire some people to help you out, or to come up with certain solutions to expand on the business because demand is going up or something like that. Or maybe you are deciding to again, like expand on an already existing thing and sort of making it more large scale, or making it more expansive somehow. You know, yeah, it could be that you are coming up with these creative solutions to branch out, or to, again, like level something up, make it even more profitable. And maybe some of you are even getting an investment opportunity as well, or like someone may offer to invest into what you are doing, or maybe, again, if it's not necessarily tied to money, it may be that there is someone in a position of authority who wants to be a part of what it is that you are doing, or who maybe even just gives you advice. But it definitely feels like the month of August is very much tied to something that you enjoy doing, and starting to take that more seriously. Okay, so let's take a look at the final 2 months, the final 4 months of the year, and see what we get. So pile number 1, the end of the year definitely feels like it's quite eventful, I have to say, or it feels like it's slightly different from the rest of the year. So let's start off with the month of September. And we have this Mirror card, which is honestly making me feel that it's very much a month of me, myself, and I, or there could be a lot of focus on your appearance, or focus on your well-being. And generally it feels like it's more of a calm month, or like there isn't that much going on. it almost feels like, again, like it's back to a mundane, normal sort of rhythm. But at the same time, there is something really like peaceful and beautiful about it. We also have the Two of Cups and the Knight of Wands coming out. So I do have to say, for the most part, I feel like it's talking about self-love or sort of seeing something in yourself, or putting more emphasis on, again, how you look, how you feel, really pouring in a lot of energy into doing the things that make you feel good and taking care of yourself, like body, mind, and soul. But for those of you who are in a relationship or who are dating or something like that, it could be that that's the month where your relationship sort of deepens, or where you just have a really sort of good time with each other. I almost want to say with this Mirror card that it's almost like you are seeing each other for who you are, and that there is this authenticity and like true reflection that is coming out. And it feels like for those of you in a relationship that it may be a month where that sort of deepens, or where you just feel this whole new spark of love or affection for your person. But I also feel this is potentially a very specific message, but I also feel with all of this mirror aspect that there may be someone, a kind of a suitor, if you will, who is attracted to you in the month of September, or who makes it known to you that they are interested in you. And they may be asking you out, or there could be something like that happening as well, regardless of whether you are single or not. You may just get more attention in the month of September, or someone, again, may just kind of crop up and, again, let you know that they are interested in you. So yeah, those are all of the things that are coming through in the month of September. But let's move on to the month of October. Now, we have this sweet little chick that is coming out. And I do feel that in the month of October, you seem to be deciding to shake something up, or leave something behind and kind of start anew. Because actually, let me just show you these tarot cards. We have the King of Wands that is coming out in reverse, and the Ten of Swords that is coming out upright. And it definitely feels like some sort of a vision or something is, it's almost like you are saying goodbye to it, or like you are like you are deciding to leave it behind. With the Ten of Swords, this is an ending sort of a card. And it does feel like you are either like making peace with something, surrendering something, letting something go. And the King of Wands, I don't really feel that it's talking about a person. I more so feel, as I said, that it's tied to some sort of a feeling or some sort of a vision. When the King of Wands comes out in reverse, it can also talk about having fear or hesitation, or something like lacking courage, right? And so that may be something that you are leaving behind as well. Because again, with this little chick energy, it feels like something new is hatching. Something is in the making here. You are deciding to open yourself up to some sort of a new beginning. And it does feel like it could be quite a big decision. But again, I also feel that it's not necessarily all happening in the month of October. It could be that this idea is born in the month of October, and then the actual physical steps start taking place some time later in the future. But moving on to the month of November, I really love this energy for you, because this whole card, it's always so sweet, and it really gives me the sort of the warm and the fuzzies. So it feels like in the month of November, you are definitely being supported here, or you are leaning on someone, and potentially someone is leaning on you as well. But it definitely feels like this the sort of mutual support, or just kindness, and helping each other out. I do feel that most likely someone is helping out you, or that you are relying on someone. Here we have the Ace of Wands coming out in reverse, the Justice card, and the Sun. And yeah, it just feels like someone is balancing you out, especially with the Ace of Wands in reverse. It feels like there is some form of encouragement, or there is some form of a solution, or something that you are being helped with here, because the Ace of Wands in reverse can talk about like a lack of an idea, or just feeling like you are not ready, or like you need some sort of encouragement here. And with Justice, it just feels like someone is balancing you out, or you are getting this sort of support that you need. And with the Sun, it just feels like as a result of that support, you are able to either do what you want to do, or that something is given a green light, or that things sort of move forward in a more fluid sort of a way. Because the Sun is the happiest card in the tarot. It heralds success and just positivity and light and warmth and all of the good things. So yeah, it definitely feels like in the month of November, someone is helping you out over here. And again, it doesn't mean that it can't be reciprocal. Maybe you are helping out someone else as well. But yeah, I feel like, especially thinking back on the month of October here, where you seem to be starting to hatch a new plan of some kind, or deciding to overcome yourself in some sense. It kind of looks logical that there may be some support that comes in for you in the month of November. But as I said, I really love the month of November for you. It just feels really wholesome and beautiful and supportive. And now let's move on to the final month of the year, which is December. And I do realize that the card may look a bit ominous, or maybe even somewhat scary, because it is depicting a thief here. But I have to say, I'm not really feeling that. I more so feel that it's just this this energy seems to be talking about you maybe pulling into yourself a bit. So it feels like by the end of the year, there seems to be so much that is going on, and it just feels like you are deciding to sort of take it down and maybe like pull into yourself a bit, work on some stuff internally and in private. The Ace of Cups coming out in reverse with the Page of Swords in reverse is making me think that this is all happening inside of you, that there is this internal process that you are going through. Especially with the Ace of Cups, whenever it comes out in reverse, I just feel like it's talking about this like need for self-love, this need for sort of emotional maintenance. Yeah, just processing everything, dealing with everything on your own. Again, with the Page of Swords in reverse, it also feels like there may be some things that you are trying to make sense of. Maybe there are ideas or choices or decisions, or maybe even like beliefs that you are rethinking or just going over in your head. There may just be this overall like looking back on the year, looking back on what has happened, and trying to analyze everything, trying to come to terms with everything that has taken place, everything that has transpired. And yeah, it just feels like it's more of a quiet month. Again, as I said, pulling into yourself, not maybe divulging too much what is happening in you, needing to go through that personal process on your own. And so that's why I feel like this card, as I said, this Thief card, even though it may look a bit like scary, I feel like it's more so just talking about you kind of hiding away, or doing this introspection in secret. Yeah, working through some stuff behind the scenes. So yeah, pile number 1. Wow, I know this was such a long reading. I cannot even believe that we made it to the end of this. And I cannot believe that I have 2 more piles to go, but that's a whole other story. Now, we are almost done with your reading. The only thing left to do now is to get some last oracle card messages from this cute little frog deck. And these messages are going to be the things that Spirit wants you to focus on in the year 2026. So let's see what are the last messages that we can get for you. Okay, wow, you got more cards than I was planning, but let's just take them. Okay, so let's see, what does Spirit want you to focus on? Okay, the first card out is, even when I am struggling, there is undeniable magic that exists within me. Wow, I absolutely love this message. I mean, I love all of these messages. This is such a cute deck, and it's such an encouraging and supportive deck. But yeah, I feel like this message is particularly beautiful because it's reminding you of your worth and value even when things are somewhat challenging. And I also feel like it's encouraging you to believe in yourself, to have what it takes to overcome, whatever you are dealing with. Okay, we also have, I am as worthy of my dreams as everyone else. Yeah, beautiful. So again, a further confirmation and just some more encouragement about your ability to make your dreams come true, to get what it is that you actually want to have in this life, and also to remind yourself that you deserve to be happy too. You deserve to get everything that you want. So yeah, beautiful reminder of, again, self-love coming through. We also get, today is filled with infinite potential and possibility. So yeah, this beautiful, optimistic, open-minded attitude is definitely something that Spirit wants you to take with you and to exercise daily in 2026. And of course, you can't be optimistic and happy all the time. That's a given. But yeah, it feels like it's important to remind yourself that that every day is a new opportunity and a new possibility. And the last card out is, just as the world is always changing and evolving, so am I. Yeah, beautiful. So it definitely feels like the year 2026 is one of quite a transformation for you, or you are definitely evolving, you are definitely progressing, things are starting to move forward. And I feel like it's especially consoling for those of you who maybe feel stuck, or like you haven't made as much progress as you would like to have made, or something like that. So if you feel like you are not really moving forward, I feel like in the year 2026 that is definitely going to change. So yeah. Wow, but pile number one, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much for hanging in there, for making it all the way to this point. By the way, if you're still here and if you enjoyed these messages, if you had fun listening to them, let me see. Please leave me a little sunrise emoji. I don't know why, but I feel like a sunrise emoji would be good for you. So if I see that in the comment section, I would know that you made it all the way to this point, that you stuck it out. Thank you so much for that, by the way. And yeah, that you had some fun listening to these messages. I also just want to give a little heads up that I am going to be taking some time off. I don't know exactly when the next upload is going to come, but I just definitely need some time to just be with my family and yeah, spend this time kind of away from the channel and away from everything. So hopefully you can understand that. Also, for those of you who have been following my channel more closely and who have noticed that there have been certain sort of missed uploads, I just want to kind of let you in on what has been going on. So I have been struggling with my health, and it's nothing serious necessarily, but it's just these minor little things, and everything has just been kind of merged and happened at the same time. So it's just been annoying, and it really has taken up so much of my time and my energy, and yeah, anyway, I'm not going to get stuck on it, but I just wanted to let you know that has mainly been the reason why I haven't been as good with the weekly uploads, and yeah, so I'm just taking some time, and I feel like I need a restart or a refresh or something like that for the new year. But yeah, I will definitely be coming back to this channel in 2026, and hopefully there will be all of these cool new ideas and yeah, new reading topics, all of that coming. So Anyway, thank you so much, pile number one. If you listened through all of that, I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all of the support that you have shown me on this channel. And I do really hope to see you very, very soon. And I'm wishing you the best start of 2026, the best year of 2026. And yeah, just hope that you have an amazing time during the holidays as well. But yeah, that's it. Take care, pile number one. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number two. My name is Helen, and I want to start this reading off by saying a massive thank you for being here, for choosing to tune in and hang out with me today. So just to give you an overview of what we are about to do, we are first going to take a look at the card that you chose, and I'm going to be reading from the guidebook, the message that is attached to this card, and that should be the first sort of clue to you whether this is actually your pile or not. So something from that message should resonate with you, even like to some degree. If you don't resonate with it 100%, that's fine, but something about that message should spark a recognition in you. And after that, we are also going to take a look at these oracle cards, which I'm going to place over here for the time being. And these oracle cards are going to tell us about the energy that you are entering into 2026 with. So again, it should talk about the current energy that you are in, something about your current circumstances, the situation that you find yourself in, something like that. It should ring true or familiar to some degree. So let's start off with the Lily of the Valley and see what the message is for you. Okay. Lily of the Valley blooms at the same time that the nightingale returns from its yearly migration. Legend claims that this is because the lily fell in love with the nightingale's beautiful song, but with the lily too shy to confess its feelings, the nightingale is none the wiser and leaves each year for warmer climes. Don't let your reservations hold you back, or you might find that an opportunity is gone before you have the chance to take it. There is courage in being bold, and others will only know what you want once you find the strength to say it. Okay, so it seems like this card is talking about the need to be more courageous and express yourself more boldly. If you find yourself being more of a wallflower at this time, or like it's difficult for you to express yourself freely, then this may be the pile for you. But as I said, let's also take a look at the oracle cards. We have Camel, Fresh Start, Forgiveness. Oh my goodness, okay, that hasn't happened in such a long time, but it's super cool when that happens. We have Forgiveness again, so that's kind of crazy. And we also have Octopus. So pile number two, this is clearly a very emotional sort of an energy here, and most likely emotions are at the surface for you at this time. Especially as you are entering into 2026, it feels like there's quite a lot to unpack and to sort of make peace with. Now, I'm going to start off with these two cards. We have this Camel card and the Fresh Start card. And I do feel with this Camel especially that there is something that you are carrying with you and that you have been carrying with you, most likely as a result of some sort of emotional outburst or emotional situation that you had with someone. Maybe it's a relationship between you and several people, but it's clear that there has been some sort of a falling out or a misunderstanding, or simply words have been said that have deeply hurt or cut you, and maybe it's like both ways. Maybe things have been said from both sides, and there are still certain wounds at play, even if this falling out, or even if this argument, or even if those words were spoken quite a while ago. With this camel, again, it feels like there is almost this survival mode that you have been in, where you are functioning, you are moving forward, you are doing things, and you're carrying on as per usual, but that there is also something is kind of stored away. And again, I'm looking at the crescent moon here, which we see on both of these cards, and it does feel like it's heavily tied to an emotional baggage of some kind that still seems to be with you. Now, we also have this fresh start here too, and so clearly there has been a fresh start, or you are working on a fresh start right now. But it feels like whatever this thing is, the situation, it was in the past, and you are trying to leave it in the past. You're trying to move away from it and turn over a new leaf, so to say. But again, with this camel, it just feels like it's not quite that easy, and that there's still something that is kind of like gnawing at you at the back of your mind. Now, clearly we have two cards that have the keyword forgiveness on it. So most likely this whole fresh start has to do with making peace with the past, making peace with what has happened, and trying to move on, if the camera would focus. And so clearly the energy of trying to make peace, trying to make amends, trying to clear the air and get rid of some of that like emotional baggage, some of the guilt or the hurt and everything that is still there, that seems to be very much at the forefront of your mind. And most likely, again, with this fresh start here too, it feels like you are working on reestablishing this relationship, or just kind of leaving the past in the past. But I do feel, for some reason, I don't know why, but this octopus is giving me a really like tightly attached sort of feeling. So on the one hand, I do feel like it's talking about the nature of this relationship. So I do feel that whatever this connection is, it's something that is very difficult to sort of separate yourself from, or you feel very, very deeply about this person, and most likely they feel very deeply about you. There are all of these different aspects that are entangled with this person, or between you and these people, if there is more than one person involved. So it just feels like there are so many parts, so many aspects to consider, that it's not that easy to just like, I don't know, walk away from it or do anything like that, which I don't even feel like you want to do in the first place. But I feel like it's really complex. There seem to be all of these different like moving parts, all of these different ways in which your life is tied to theirs, and yeah, it just feels like it's really layered and very complex. But again, as I said, there is this huge level of attachment that I feel as well, which on the one hand, again, is coinciding with having all of these different ties with this other person's life. But it also talks about just feeling this level of huge depth of feeling this huge level of affection and care for this person. That seems to be like the main aspect here, the main driving force that seems to be driving this desire to patch things up, this desire to make amends, this desire to keep this relationship going and work on it. But coming back to the Lily of the Valley message here, it may be that you may find it somewhat difficult to actually express some of the things that are still on your mind and that are weighing heavily on your heart, because even though the emphasis is on moving forward and sort of leaving the past in the past and turning over a fresh leaf, it's clear that some of the things have not been resolved, and that it may be something that is kind of bugging you, and it may be something that is making you feel this like inner conflict, or like you don't quite know what to do or how to act, because you obviously you want to move forward too. It's very clear from these cards. You want to move forward. You want things to progress and sort of not get stuck and be weighed down by the past. But at the same time, it just feels like there is something that isn't quite resolved yet, or there are still things to be said, is kind of what I feel. So pile number 2, hopefully that made sense to you. Hopefully you recognized yourself from that description. And if that's the case, then you are in the right place. You're watching the right pile. And it's time to take a look at the year 2026. And the way that this is going to go is we are going to get some oracle cards to describe each of the 12 months, the overall energy or the most significant event of the month, just to kind of give you a glimpse of something that may come up for you in during those months or in the year 2026. And after that, we are also going to open up each of the cards with some tarot cards as well to get more details, to get some more information. So pile number 2, let's start off with the month of January. And we have this dilapidated house that is coming out over here. I wouldn't take this too literally, but I do feel that it's tied to the energy that you are entering into the year with, like everything that we have been talking about. So all of the energies that were coming through from the initial part of the reading, where we were talking about you potentially feeling a certain kind of way and having some thoughts that are weighing heavily on you, having something that is weighing heavy on your heart. So it feels like it's much more talking about this unsteady foundation or this wonky foundation, how some of the things are still in disrepair, or that maybe that's not the right word to use, but you know, that some of the things have not been quite worked through, and there's still stuff that is jeopardizing the sort of the foundation of this connection in the future. So some of the things that you have had, again, that you have had a hard time expressing or actually talking about, it could be that in the month of January, that is really something that kind of becomes so strong or so overwhelming that you kind of have to lay it all out and express how you feel. And the reason why I feel that that may be the case is because of this 9 of Cups as well, which is very much talking about your own personal emotional satisfaction. And it feels like that's really the main driving force here. That seems to take kind of center stage, where you have to do this for the sake of your own well-being and for the sake of your own sanity. Honoring what you feel, honoring your inner emotional landscape, that seems to be a really important thing in the month of January. And we got the 4 of Pentacles in reverse with the 5 of Pentacles. These 2 cards came out together, and it's really confirming the message of, first off, letting something go, or not holding on to, I feel like, this piece of information so tightly. And especially with the 5 of Pentacles, it's again talking about this feeling of lack, or this feeling of things not quite being satisfactory to you. So everything that is still kind of off kilter or not quite right, that seems to be what you are letting go of here. So again, I feel that the month of January can actually have a tremendously healing effect, even if in the month itself you don't get everything fully resolved. That may very well be the case, because I feel like it's potentially something more big, something more substantial, right? It's not something that you can necessarily solve in just one quick conversation. It may take some time, it may take some work to get all of these feelings resolved. But I do feel that in the month of January is where this whole thing kind of comes out, or where the necessary aspects that really need attention and some adjustments, that is something that can start taking form in the month of January. And that really seems to be like the main focus of like fixing the fundamentals, or starting to pay attention to the things that need attention. Anyway, I don't know why that was so difficult for me to get out, but yeah, it was difficult to get to the bottom of the month of January. Anyway, moving on to February. And now this card is hinting at needing to maybe try a bit of an unconventional approach to something, especially because I feel like in the month of February, you may feel this urge to take control over something, or to have a very hands-on approach to how something plays out, or to how something goes. And I feel very heavily that there may be a somewhat unorthodox method that comes into play in the month of February, or where you sort of stumble across something more unorthodox because of these two cards here. We have the Page of Pentacles in reverse with the Queen of Pentacles. I do feel that this Queen of Pentacles energy is talking about you, but the Page of Pentacles in reverse seems to hint at some sort of method not working, or not being able to figure out how to make something work. And so the Queen of Pentacles, being resourceful as she is an energy of working with what you have, making things work out in the end, however you need to. And again, the Queen of Pentacles, especially I'm for some reason being tied back to the astrological association. The Queen of Pentacles is a card of Capricorn. And so I do feel this heavy Capricornian energy here of needing to be in charge, needing to sort of take matters into your own hands and make sure that things go according to your plan. Which again, I feel like there seems to be something that isn't working in a normal or regular sort of way, and so it demands a different sort of approach, an out of the box sort of approach. But yeah, I feel like you are very much up to the task here, and you may feel this intense feeling to really like take the reins and get into the driver's seat in the month of February. Now, moving on to March, we have this kind of ominous looking card, or at the very least it tends to freak me out quite often. I'm not really the biggest fan of the illustration of this card, but that's besides the point. So the main energy of this card is temptation, or someone offering you something that looks really good on the surface, but that can actually turn out to be more than you bargained for, or just a disappointment in the long run. So I do feel that in general, there may be some temptations in the month of March. There may be certain things that look a bit too good to be true, but I do feel, potentially this is more of a specific message, but I do feel that for some of you, there could be a very concrete offer that is coming your way. Someone may present you with an opportunity of some kind, and it may look really, really good, really tempting, but I feel like it might actually fall short in reality, because we have this Knight of Wands and the Star cards coming out. Now, usually I really like the Star card, but in this instance, I feel somewhat dodgy about it. And I feel it's because of this Knight of Wands. Now, I do feel that this Knight of Wands is talking about the person who brings you this opportunity. And the Knight of Wands is the sort of energy that talks a really good game, but they don't necessarily always back up what they say or what they promise. So they are really good. They are like the perfect salesman, if I can say it that way, because they're really good at getting people really excited about their ideas, about their endeavors, about their offers, about their plans, but they don't always follow through, and they can be really fickle in the sense that when they lose heart, when they lose that spark, that motivation, they quickly jump ship and move to someplace else. And so that's why I feel that there is this temporary energy about this offer, or like it just seems too good to be true, especially because of the Star card. That's why I feel that the Star card is dodgy, because it almost feels like this perfect dream come true thing that again just feels like it's everything that you have been wanting, everything that you have been desiring, but it's not real. It's like this beautiful story, and that's why I feel like, again, it's most likely not going to be the case for all of you, but for some of you, if you get an offer of some kind, if someone gives you something really tempting to consider, and most likely it's not something small or something minor, it may have more long-term repercussions or long-term consequences because of the Star card here too, which again, we're dealing with the major arcana. So I feel like it may potentially be something bigger or something that like transpires in the long run. So just be mindful of any like too good to be true sort of offers coming your way, because most likely it's a trick. Most likely it's going to backfire, or at the very least, it's going to be something that you end up having to deal with for quite a while, or that you will end up regretting down the line. That's what I feel, which is so strange because these cards are not coming out in reverse or anything, but I just don't get the best feeling about it. So be mindful for the 50th time. Be mindful in the month of March, because I feel like temptations are going to be quite big. Now we get to the month of April, and we have this funny looking desert scene coming out, and really all I feel with this card is that by the month of April you may feel somewhat juiced out, or like, I don't know whether that expression exists, but you know, like you are squeezed dry. That's what it feels like. It feels like that's your sort of mental state, or your emotional state, maybe even more so, where you just don't have the energy reserves to deal with, I feel like, people most strongly, actually. So it just feels like it's this emotional tiredness that you feel. And I feel that it's because of this Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is indicating that there is something that you are working on. There is potentially some sort of goal at the forefront of your mind, and you seem to be putting all of your focus into this one thing. The Eight of Wands can very often talk about something that has to do with your career, something that has to do with your work, some sort of project that you want to get off the ground, or that you want to make successful. Whatever it is, it's generally tied to some sort of a passion of yours, something that you feel very strongly about, and something that you are putting a lot of energy and action into. And as a result, it feels like you don't have that much energy left for your friends, or possibly for your family members, for the people in your life. With the Page of Wands coming out in reverse, I do feel it's talking about this lack of communication, or this drying up of communication. The Queen of Cups in reverse just seems to hint at these emotional connections that the conversations have to do with the people that you care about. And the Ten of Swords, again, it just feels like you are so sort of drained by this thing that you are pursuing, this thing that is taking up all of your focus and energy. So yeah, it's not going to be this serious thing. I feel like it's not going to be, it's going to be temporary, let's just say it like that. It's not going to last forever, but I do feel that there may be this feeling in you where you just can't sort of spread yourself between several different things, where it's just all going in this one focused direction. But pile number, 2, I almost said 1. Pile number 2, let's take a look at the next 4 months. So May, June, July, and August. Let's see what we can get. So let's start off with the month of May. We have this card over here, and I do really feel mainly that the month of may be one of indulging for you. And I kind of want to give a bit of a heads up that it's potentially a good idea to be mindful and to pay attention to what it is that you are spending money on, because I do feel that after this whole energy in the month of April, where you feel really kind of exhausted, or like you have been squeezed dry and all of your efforts are going into this one place, I feel like in the month of May you may feel tempted to like overcompensate as a result. And with the Three of Cups and the Knight of Swords coming out in reverse, I just feel like it may be sort of going overboard with certain practices of lifting your spirits or making yourself feel better. Now, this is an especially important message for those of you who like to party to unwind. There is nothing wrong with that, whatever floats your boat. But I do feel that with the Three of Cups coming out in reverse, it is saying that there may be this tendency to maybe party a bit too hard, or to go a bit overboard with that, where it may cause you some trouble, some issues. And with the Knight of Swords in reverse, it just feels like it's this unstoppable force, like it's this overwhelming inner force to just like compensate for everything that you have been working so hard for, or everything that you have been giving of yourself. So it almost feels like this, this just wanting to indulge, wanting to ease up a bit, wanting to allow yourself to just like take it a bit more easily. But I do feel that in the month of May, there is this danger of like going a bit overboard with that. Now, if you are fine with that, if you don't care about that, then of course you do you. But I do feel with these reversed cards that I have to put it out there. Now, moving on to the month of June. And by the way, before we get to the summer months, I just want to say that I feel like summer is going to be a really good period of time for you and your relationship, especially if this is a one-on-one relationship, and especially if this is one like a romantic relationship. I really feel that in the month of actually in all of these 3 months, it feels like your relationship is going to deepen and really like get a lot more close, because in the month of June we have this card with the ladder over here, and it does feel like there is this energy of kind of leveling up or reaching some sort of an accomplishment or some sort of goal, something that you have been wishing for, something that you have been hoping for. But it definitely speaks of like elevation and progression, which I feel like is something that you have been waiting for quite a long time. We have the Seven of Pentacles coming out. So it feels like it's the result of a period of nurturing, a period of working on it, of having patience, of having understanding, and really working to get you like back on track, to get to a good place. And we have this Seven of Wands in reverse with the Sun as well. And I just feel like it's this releasing of some resistance, or letting go of some barricades, or again, just it feels like there is some form of resistance that has been in place that is starting to crumble in the month of June. And with the Sun as well, it just feels like there is genuine joy and pleasure and happiness that is coming about. So I do feel that there is a lot to celebrate and a lot to be happy about in the month of June, especially when it comes to the relationship that we have been talking about. So I feel like you could really make some strides in the month of June, and most likely your relationship is kind of an important life area in the summer months, and most likely more at the forefront, because we also have this card when we're moving on to the month of July. And this card very clearly speaks about intimacy and sort of physical closeness. So I definitely feel like in the month of July, you may feel more compelled to, spend more time with your significant other. Or again, there is just this deepening of the bond between you, and the level of intimacy seems to deepen as well. And the reason why I feel that there's also this growing level of closeness is because of the Magician and the Nine of Wands. I do sense that the Nine of Wands here is again talking about the sort of the stamina and the willingness to go the distance, to hang in there, even when obviously you have had some difficult times or when there have been challenges. And I feel with the Magician here that this is just talking about this manifestation of going the distance, or actually bringing this energy to life that allows you to keep going, that allows you to stay strong and work on the relationship and sort of strengthen it, maybe even again take it to the next level, or kind of make sense and see the value in some of these lessons that you have learned, maybe even integrate some of the lessons that you have learned as well in the month of July specifically. And I feel like there is a lot of communication because the Magician is a card of Mercury, and I feel this emphasis of the energy of Mercury. So there may be more meaningful conversations that take place in the month of July, or again, there is this leveling up of closeness that seems to take place, especially in June and especially in July. And I feel like in the month of July, you may feel more inclined to stay at home and to just like snuggle up, or to just be in this cozy environment and kind of shelter yourself from the rest of the world. So again, it feels like in the month of July, you might not be as social with people around you. You may feel more pulled towards staying at home or just spending time with this person. And now we get to the month of August, and we have this card over here, which is talking about certain secrets or hidden spaces. I do feel that there are going to be some hidden aspects that are going to be revealed, or that there is some sort of information that is brought to light in the month of August. And the reason why I say that as well is because of this Eight of Swords and the Six of Wands. And I do feel that the Six of Wands, which is very much an energy of publicity, or something becoming more visible, something being acknowledged, something being made aware. And the Eight of Swords, which is very often tied to this internal hassle and all of these thoughts and feeling stuck and all of that. I feel like there is something, some sort of opening up about something that has been somewhat stifling, or something that maybe you haven't dared open up about before. So it may be a sort of a further continuation in this sort of all of this getting closer energy that is coming through from the previous month. So it may be that you decide to share some secrets, or maybe your person shares some secrets with you. But either way, it definitely feels like there is some sort of revealing that is happening, and some personal stuff that is being divulged. But if we kind of zoom out of the whole relationship focus, I just feel like you could be making some discoveries about yourself as well, and potentially finding some solutions, finding a way out, maybe even, getting some help to something that you have felt stifled by, or something that you haven't known how to approach, how to handle. Yeah, it feels like in the month of August, there is some form of outside input that may prove to be really beneficial, and that may really help you along. Or potentially, when someone else opens up to you and divulges some information to you, you may be the one who actually has some valuable insight to offer them that helps them to move forward in a meaningful way. Let's look at the final 4 months as well. So let's see what we find out about September, October, November, and December. Okay, so let's start off with the month of September. We have this courthouse on the card over here, but I don't actually feel like it's tied to the courthouse literally. It more so feels like it's talking about coming back into equilibrium and re-establishing a sense of balance in your life. Maybe turning some focus on the things that have been that haven't been as the focal point, that haven't been as important to you than some other things. And I feel like in the month of September is really where you start kind of course correcting in that sense, because we have the Knight of Pentacles and the King of Cups coming out. And with the Knight of Pentacles, I really feel this level of sort of doing what needs to be done to get yourself back on track and kind of going about things in a correct manner, especially because of the King of Cups energy, which I feel is tied to the Queen of Cups energy here that we had in the month of April, where it feels like, you were kind of squeezed dry and you didn't have enough energy and time for your social interactions and your social connections. I feel like in the month of September is potentially the time where you may really put some more emphasis on that area of life for you. And yeah, just sort of starting to pay more attention to nurturing these emotional connections and all sorts of different things in your life, not just connections, but all sorts of different activities that bring you this level of emotional fulfillment. Because I do have to say that the first part of the year really feels like it's so heavily focused on this whole relationship thing that is at the forefront of your mind right now. And you seem to be really kind of tied up in that and getting that back on track and working through some of the things that are still there. And also working on some sort of a goal of yours or a project of yours or a business endeavor or a career thing. So it seems to be very much focused on those two areas. And then I feel like really in the month of September is when it feels like the majority of those things have been covered and they are much more stable. And so finally you have the energy and you have the time and the resources to get these other areas of life in balance as well. Now, moving on to the month of October, and we have this card over here, which is talking about all sorts of activities, hobbies, anything to do with your leisure time. And I do feel that in the month of October, especially with the Hermit in reverse and the Emperor, it feels like that's when you really become much more active as well. The Hermit in reverse is indicating the sort of coming out of your shell, coming out of your little cocoon and like rejoining society, rejoining life. And even though it's a bit of a metaphor, I'm not saying that you have been cocooned this whole time, but it just feels like energetically maybe you haven't been as available, but now is really where you start putting more energy and effort into that. And especially with the Emperor too, it feels like you're really taking things into your own hands and you are starting to participate a lot more, and maybe you even take up some sort of sporting activity as well, because the Emperor is heavily tied to the energy of Mars, and Mars is very active movement, it's assertiveness, it's expressing your will and all of that. So I do feel that may be the case in the month of October. And also all of this socializing, it makes a lot of sense that it's happening in the month of like September and October, because at the end of September and the first part of October is Libra season. And so Libra being the sign that is very heavily tied to other people, having this other person to relate to, that sort of other person focus seems to really come through during this Libra season. So it just feels like it's coinciding so well with the general energies. Now, moving on to the month of November, we have this card here, and honestly, the main thing that I feel is that it's representing a very important moment that occurs in the month of November. I feel like you are breaking a pattern of some kind, and the reason why I feel that as well is because of the Six of Cups and Death card, which seems to indicate that there is something that is potentially quite a long-standing pattern or cycle, something that has been playing out, and potentially something that is tied to like a habit of yours. Yeah, it feels like it's a long-standing one. The Six of Cups is very much talking about like nostalgia and childhood ties. So it's most likely a mechanism, a coping mechanism of some kind that you have adopted from your early childhood. But with this Death Rebirth card, it's clear that that is something that you are transforming here. And I do feel that the month of November can be a really, really powerful one for you. Again, I don't think that it's this whole big thing that happens all in November, but I feel like it's a really noticeable shift, some sort of awareness that comes with it, and it kind of starts off this new habit that you are going to carry on with you into the future as well. And finally, we get to the month of December, and we have this card that emphasizes time. And I do feel like it's mainly talking about just organizing things, getting things on track, potentially starting to just organize your time more effectively, pay more attention to what you are spending time on. Because again, we have the Devil here and we have the Eight of Pentacles. The Devil is coming out in reverse. And so I do feel that it's again relating. It's kind of relating me back to the November energy here, where it's talking about not being sort of blindly tied to some sort of a pattern anymore, or not just repeating something or continually doing something just because you've always done it. I feel like it's sort of breaking out of a constraint of some kind, and it feels like you are starting to reorganize things. With this Eight of Pentacles, it really feels like you are going to have a very productive sort of December, and where you seem to start making some plans and I keep wanting to say organize. It feels like you are organizing something. You are potentially also making some plans for the year ahead, just starting to manage your resources, especially your time, much more effectively, and in a way that you enjoy much more as well, that has meaning to you. So yeah, wow, that was quite a year that was coming through, pile number 2. I hope that you had fun listening to these messages, because again, that's what it was meant to be. Most of all, this was supposed to be a fun overview of what is likely to take place in 2026 for you. But I promise we are almost done. I know that this has been a long one, and I really, really appreciate you still being here. Now, the last part of this reading is going to be all about what Spirit wants you to focus on in 2026. So we're going to get some cute little mantras from this frog and see what the messages are that Spirit wants you to bear in mind. Oh, perfect. We got exactly 3. Okay. So we got, this came out for the first pile too, but just as the world is always changing and evolving, so am I. I love all of these messages, but I truly love this message for you, because I feel like the year 2026 is going to be one where you do quite a lot of evolving, actually. There seems to be a lot of growth and development in store for you. And I feel like this message is just Spirit's way of encouraging you to see how much you are actually developing and growing. Okay, we also have, I am reclaiming my childlike sense of wonder. I love this for you because, again, it's basically emphasizing the need to not lose that childlike aspect of you and to connect with your inner child, to allow that sense of awe and lightheartedness and optimism and all of these innocent, pure traits that we associate with childhood and children. It's important to remind ourselves that we do need to keep that aspect alive as well, to really enjoy this journey that we are on. Yeah. And finally we have, I am capable of more than I realize. Oh my goodness, I adore this image and I adore this message. And I feel like it's such an important one to repeat to yourself. I am capable of more than I realize. So yeah, I feel like Spirit is asking you not to downplay your skills, your strengths, your abilities, everything that you have in you. There is so much, and there is so much more left for you to discover. And yeah, I feel like you are going to really take yourself by surprise. And I feel like by the end of next year, when you look back on the year, I feel like you will realize just how much you have managed to conquer, especially within yourself, I feel like. So yeah, amazing stuff, pile number 2. I really hope that you feel that way too. I hope that it was entertaining. And if you are still here, by the way, if you made it all the way to this point, then please leave me a little cowboy hat. I hope that exists, because sometimes I swear to God, I know in my head, I'm like so sure that these emojis exist. And then when I look at the emojis, it turns out that they don't. But I really hope that exists, or just any kind of hat that you like the look of. Just leave me a hat in the comment section so that I would know that you made it all the way to this point and then you stuck it out. And I would really, really love to see that in the comment section and connect with you there. It just warms my heart so much. And if you are one of those lovely people who sort of keep coming back to my channel for more readings and who keep tuning in regularly, then just a quick little overview of what has been going on. You may have noticed that I have missed some uploads. I haven't been uploading every single week, and it's because of well, some time constraints as well, but mainly because of some health issues and yeah, it has been quite a hassle. I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to take up too much of your time. So, and it's not really that important anyway. It's nothing serious, but it's just one of those things when everything kind of accumulates and you have to deal with everything at the same time. It's one of those things. So yeah, I haven't been the best when it comes to that, but I do want to say that I'm going to be taking some time off. Just some weeks at the end of the year and spending time with family, just enjoying the holidays and taking it a bit more easy, taking a break from this channel. So I just wanted to let you know that is the case, but I hope to come back next year with some fresh new energy, fresh motivation, fresh ideas, and so definitely come back next year. But I don't know exactly when I will be uploading a new reading. But hopefully you will come back and check in again and join me in one of my future readings. I would love that. But anyway, have an amazing end of 2025 and happy holidays if you happen to see this video when I am posting it. I hope that you have an amazing 2026 and yeah, take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading pile number 3. My name is Helen and I want to say a massive thank you for finding the time to tune in and hang out with me and listen to these messages. So let's go through what we are actually going to be doing today, how this reading is going to go. We are first going to take a look at the card that you chose, and I'm going to be reading the message from the guidebook for this card, and that should be some sort of an inkling as to whether you recognize something about the energy. Some of the messages should resonate for you to some degree. So that is kind of the first clue. But then we are also going to take a look at these oracle cards, which I've put on the side here. And those oracle cards are going to describe the kind of energy that you are entering into 2026 with. So based on both of these messages or these sections, it should be fairly easy for you to identify with this pile, or conversely, recognize that this doesn't really sound familiar, so maybe you should go and try another pile. But yeah, you chose this citrus card, so let's look at the message here. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try and hold the card up for you as well so that you could actually see the beautiful illustration on this card. So we have citrus. By the way, sorry if this goes out of focus or out of the frame. So this is a card of capability and empowerment. You've been stuck in a limbo lately, waiting for someone to make the time to help you. Ultimately, however, it will be faster to brush up on the skills you lack and do things yourself. Be like a citrus fruit with all its important nutrients. Fill yourself with value and strength that will benefit you both now and in the future. Okay, so this card seems to hint at sort of needing to step into the role of the savior for yourself, making the time to brush up on some skills, to focus on strengthening your abilities, so that, again, you could be as capable as possible in dealing with situations and taking care of stuff yourself. So that's the energy of the card. But again, this is just the first part. So let's take a look at the oracle cards as well. We have butterfly, rescue. Oh my goodness. This is kind of crazy. Anyway, we'll get to this. Going forward, choose your weapon, and scorpion. Okay, so pile number 3, looking at these oracle cards, which are meant to describe something about your current circumstances, the energy that you are currently in as you are transitioning into the new year. I do feel that there is this divide in energies when it comes to these cards. It feels like the cards on this side are talking about the circumstances that you are in or something that has happened to you, versus this side seems to be talking about the energy that you yourself are in, how you are feeling, what your mindset is like. So starting off with the butterfly and rescue cards, which, as I said, it's funny that we get the card with the keyword rescue on it. It's funny because of the connection to the citrus card that you chose. So with this butterfly and rescue, it does seem like there has been some sort of a transformative situation that you have gone through. Most likely you were forced to come out of your comfort zone. You were sort of given a nudge or a push and made to feel somewhat unsteady, insecure, unstable, and maybe even somewhat stranded, like we see on this rescue card, because it does give a slight indication of feeling somewhat helpless or like you don't quite know what to do. So it could be that it's some sort of a situation that you have never encountered before, or it could simply be that it's somewhat of a challenging situation that you have to deal with by yourself, or that there is no one to turn to for help, even if you have encountered a similar situation before. It just feels like maybe this time you are kind of left on your own to deal with this mess by yourself. And so it definitely feels like a challenging sort of event, or some kind of circumstances that you are forced to deal with, something that you cannot ignore. Now, we have this going forward card in the center here, and it is indicating that this whole thing that you are going through is meant to push you forward. It's meant to take you to something new, to a new sort of experience, to a lesson of some kind. And it does feel like you are in the process of looking towards the future, looking towards the next steps that you can take. So it kind of feels like movement is inevitable, and you are sort of in this position where you are forced along on your journey, whether you want to be or not, whether you have chosen to take a step in a new direction or not. Most likely, because again, I feel quite strongly that the situation that you find yourself in is not something that you chose, or it's not something that you instigated. It's something that was almost, just pushed upon you, or something that happened to you. I don't know why I keep hearing the message "happened to you." So it wasn't voluntary, but it feels like it's something that you are having to deal with either way. And now we get to these two cards with the Choose Your Weapon and Scorpion. And it does feel like there is some form of anger here, almost like getting ready to go to battle, or hyping yourself up, like getting yourself going. It almost gives me the feeling of a changing room sort of dynamic before a big sports game or before a big match. When you have to get yourself into that mentality of going after the victory, and like going out there and demolishing the opponents. It's that sort of mindset. And I do feel that with this Choose Your Weapon, you maybe haven't quite decided yet how you are going to tackle the situation, what the best approach would be to get yourself out of it. But with the Scorpion, it definitely feels like something is brewing. You are gathering up this sort of feistiness, or like this hyped up energy, this tension in you, something that would make it easier for you to handle the situation, and to like quote unquote go into battle, which kind of feels like is the easiest way for you to push yourself to take action. Because I do feel that this whole situation that has put you in this position has definitely triggered some fears, and again, I feel like there is quite a lot internally that you have to overcome, that you have to quiet down before, maybe I would even say that you kind of have to get yourself into that angry mode, because otherwise it would be very easy for you to stay in this sort of energy where, again, it's like you are hoping for someone to come in and save you, someone to come and resolve the situation for you, right? But I feel like you kind of realize that it's something that you have to do for yourself. And so it's easier to kind of get angry, to tap into that sort of emotion, to get yourself into that assertive, take charge sort of space. So that is the energy that is coming through from these oracle cards. Hopefully something resonated for you, or you could make sense of this description. If that is something that you recognize as something that you're going through right now, then it's a very good indication that this is your pile, and you should definitely stay tuned, because now we are going to get to the actual gist of today's reading, which is all about the year 2026 and what each month has in store for you. And the way that we're going to go about this is that we are first going to get some oracle cards for each month to give a description of the overall energy of the month, or some sort of significant event that you are most likely going to experience during that month. And we're going to get one oracle card for each month, and then we're going to open up each month with some tarot cards as well to get additional information, any sort of details, anything like that. And yeah, we're going to do that for all 12 months. So as I already said in the intro, it's going to be quite a long reading. So get comfy, get prepared, take everything that you need. So let's see what we get for the first 4 months of the year: January, February, March, and April. So pile number 3, let's start off with the month of January. And with this card coming out, I feel like the general energy of the month of January may feel somewhat disorienting, or as though you are not in control. It also feels like a continuation of the sort of energy that you are already in as you are watching this reading and as you are sort of entering into 2026. So it feels like a carryover sort of energy. And I don't think it's anything new. It just seems to be this fear-driven mentality that may crop up every now and then. Most strongly, I feel like there is this feeling of not having a clear understanding or a clear overview of what to do exactly. And the reason why that is coming through very strongly as well is because of this moon card, which is saying that there are quite a lot of shadows. There's potentially quite a lot of these negative thoughts or overwhelming thoughts, things that seem to muddle up your mind or that make it difficult to see things clearly, because that's the moon energy, right? It's shadowy, it's dark, it's veiled, it's confusing. We feel like our fears are bigger than us, or where fears seem to magnify certain situations and things. And I do feel that, again, even though it's an illusion, because usually with the moon, things appear something that they are actually not. So most likely the situation is not as dire as you may be feeling or perceiving it to be. But again, because the moon energy is here, I do have to give that message of what it most likely means. But again, I wouldn't be worried, because it feels like it's the similar energy to what you are already experiencing. So it kind of makes sense that it's just carrying over into the month of January as well. But I do love that we get these two cards here with the Six of Cups and the World coming out together side by side like this. It does hint at some sort of a pattern being broken, or a cycle that is coming to an end. And most likely the cycle has something to do with a childhood pattern or a childlike quality. It's the sort of energy where you feel that you are weaker than the situation in front of you, or again, where you feel like you are subjected to the conditions that you are in and where you don't really have that much power. With the World, it feels like you are getting to some sort of a breakthrough moment, or where you are able to rid yourself of that form of thinking and kind of step through the portal to come out of that spiraling mindset, where your mind may be playing tricks on you and making you feel again less than or weaker, or maybe where your mind is even belittling you in the face of this situation. So I do feel that there is this beautiful break in the in that mindset spiral, most likely by the end of January. Now we get to the month of February, and I do feel that most likely this card is hinting at the more masculine energy that you seem to be adopting in the month of February. So it looks as though you are potentially starting to take more action in the month of February, because in the month of January, it feels like you are very much in your head and you are sort of thinking about things and you are analyzing and processing and trying to slay those demons internally. But in the month of February, it feels like you may actually start taking some action and get more into this assertive position, because this is purely the masculine energy coming through. Now, it may also symbolize a male figure in your life who may end up being a big support to you in the month of February. They may offer some guidance or some help or something like that. Maybe just some good advice that makes it easier for you to find your way forward or to figure out your next move. But most strongly, I do feel that it is you sort of adopting that more, again, masculine take charge energy. Now, the tarot cards that are coming through are the Three of Pentacles and Judgment. And I do want to say I find it quite funny and even somewhat eerie that the man on this Three of Pentacles looks somewhat similar to the man on this card. I don't know whether you can see it, but I mean, the beard and the hairstyle definitely looks somewhat similar. You can't really see the hairstyle on this card too much because his head is like somewhat hazy, but I definitely see a similarity there. I don't know. Anyway, the Three of Coins and the Judgment card. So again, with the Three of Coins, it on the one hand feels like you are starting to build something, like you're starting to take some steps to lay a new foundation or build something meaningful. But on the other hand, the Three of Pentacles can again indicate that you are getting someone to assist you with something. Again, it doesn't have to be in a very physical sense. It can just be that they give you some solid advice or they share their own experiences that proves to be valuable to you somehow. But with Judgment, either way, it feels like you are leveling up somehow. You are turning over a new leaf or setting yourself free from an old way of being. So Judgment definitely heralds again, an up-leveling, a new sort of energy coming into life. And I really like that we're getting these heavy-hitting energies with the World and Judgment. It feels like at the very beginning of the year, there are already these massive shifts that you are going through. Now, we are moving on to the month of March, and we have this card over here. And I do have to say that it may be more of a specific message, but based on the tarot cards as well that came out with it, we have the Four of Wands and the 10 of Wands. And with all of these cards together, I got more of a specific message of potentially finding something out about your family lineage, about your ancestry, about your background. So there may be some interesting information about your DNA and sort of what has led you to become the person that you are, or what has played a part in you sort of, again, becoming the person that you are today. But just in general, this card is hinting at doing some research, potentially being more of a hermit, or working through some information. Maybe you are taking some more time to study or to learn or to get some new skills even. Maybe some of you are deciding to take a course or deciding to go back to school or finish a degree of some kind, or participate in some sort of a workshop type thing. It just feels that you are expanding your knowledge and you are digging into either some like archives or it feels like you are expanding your knowledge either way. And with the Four of Wands and the 10 of Wands, I'm kind of getting a weird message of like, play hard, work hard. I don't know. It feels like with the 10 of Wands, you definitely seem to be putting in a lot of effort to get to this information or to make sense of things or to improve your skills or something like that. Because the 10 of Wands does indicate hard work, sort of giving it your all and taking on a lot of responsibility. So it feels like you are taking this very seriously. But with the Four of Wands, it also feels like you are making the time to, party a little or ease it up and just allow yourself to unwind, allow yourself to have fun as well. So it feels like there is this, balance of, as I said, work hard, play hard. Maybe some of you have your birthdays in the month of March, and that may be something that you kind of decide to celebrate in a bigger way this year. But yeah, anyway, Moving on to the month of April, and we have this beautiful card over here. And now I do have to say, whenever this card comes out, I always feel an energy of a realization, and it's a realization that is kind of massive. So I do feel that in the month of April, and this feels much more like a significant event that happens and not necessarily the general energy of the month. Even though you may have several realizations in the month of April, I do feel that there is this one instance where something becomes incredibly clear to you and you see things in a whole new light. And I do feel with both of these cards coming out, we have the Three of Swords and the Three of Cups in reverse. I do feel that it is tied to a friend or a relationship of some kind. It doesn't necessarily feel like a romantic connection. It just feels like you discover something disappointing or something somewhat shocking about a friend of yours, or maybe who you thought was your friend. Maybe you find out about a friend that you trusted having spilt all your secrets or something like that. It just feels like with this Three of Swords and the Three of Cups in reverse, that there may be a rethinking of a friendship, or even just a group of people that you thought you belonged with, or again, that you thought were your friends. You either like something happens in that sense that there is a letdown from a very specific person or from a specific group of people, or it could just be that something clicks and you suddenly don't resonate with the people anymore that you thought that you resonated with. This could also talk about your work colleagues or the people that you work with on a daily basis, and maybe suddenly you realize that you don't really vibe with them anymore, and that you have different values, or that you don't want to be in that type of environment anymore. Whatever sort of realization it is, it definitely feels like it is somewhat disappointing, but I also feel that it's something that you're most likely going to recover from quite quickly. But I do feel that it may take you by surprise because, as I said, this realization feels quite significant. So anyway, nothing to be alarmed about, pile number 3, but I do feel like your year is starting off with quite a bang. Like there's quite a lot that is happening, and it's going to be interesting to see what we get next. So let's take a look at the next 4 months as well. So May, June, July, and August. Let's see what those months have in store. So pile number 3, let's look at the month of May, which I feel is going to be such a sweet and welcome change of pace from the more action-packed first part of the year. During the month of May, it feels like things are definitely starting to settle and kind of go back into a more steady flow, a more organic rhythm, something that feels a lot more relaxing, a lot more easy to handle. Also with this card, it does indicate that it's almost like you are being carried or you are being helped. Now, whether this is through an actual person of some kind, it may be the case. So you may have more support in the month of May, or just feel like you are not alone. Or it may simply be that it's almost like the universe is working along with you, helping you out, carrying you forward. So it almost feels like the universe is making things easier for you in the month of May, and things just sort of, again, flow more effortlessly without you needing to put too much strain on things or without you needing to force anything. It just feels like things are almost falling into place and going along as planned without you needing to do too much. Because we also have the Star card here, and this is mainly what is making me think that it's like the universe or your spirit guides or God or whoever you connect with the most is out there, and they are hearing you, they are seeing you, and they are supporting you, giving you a shoulder to lean on, and kind of just, again, making things more easy for you, so that with the Four of Swords, you can kind of take a break. You can just relax your mind. You don't have to think that hard. You don't have to push that hard. You don't have to force anything. You can just be and surrender and allow things to unfold organically. And there is something really beautiful and healing about that. I feel like you desperately need this respite, or it's very welcome. And I just feel like you are really going to enjoy the month of May. Moving on to the month of June here, we have this card. And this one is, again, making me feel that it's more so talking about a specific event. So most likely it feels like there is some sort of important correspondence that takes place in the month of June. Maybe, like, it could go either way. Maybe you receive some form of a correspondence from someone. So it could be an actual letter or a parcel or a text message or a call. Like, whatever form that message takes is irrelevant. But it feels like there is a lot of importance to some form of communication in the month of June. The other way that this could manifest is that you yourself are going to declare something or make a statement or an official statement. I couldn't think of another word that I wanted to use. So as I said, it could go either way, whether you receive something or whether you yourself decide to share some form of important information, because we have this King of Pentacles that is coming out. And again, it could talk about you, or it could talk about the source of this information, where it's coming from. Don't get stuck in the gender aspect here. It can talk about some kind of authority figure as well, or someone in a more powerful position. But as I said, it can also talk about you. Either way, we have the Ace of Cups in reverse and the Devil in reverse. And I feel like these two cards are describing the content of that message. Again, either there is someone who is making a change in their life and they are deciding to let something go and they are letting you know about it, or you yourself feel like you don't really want to do something anymore. You don't really feel a connection to something anymore, and you want to set yourself free from it. Because the Devil in reverse is a very strong message of detaching from something or letting go of something that has started to feel somewhat restrictive, or like it's too overbearing. And again, with the Ace of Cups coming out in reverse here, it just feels like there isn't emotional satisfaction or fulfillment in this anymore. And because we have the King of Pentacles, it feels like it's tied to some sort of material realm. So maybe it's tied to someone's workplace, someone's career path. Maybe it's tied to some sort of project or like a mundane sort of endeavor. But it definitely feels like it's more practical in nature rather than some sort of like a relationship thing or something like that. So that seems to be a significant sort of happening in the month of June. Now, moving on to July, we have this card over here. And honestly, the main thing that I feel is that, first of all, I feel like it's again talking about the more general energy of the month yet again. And secondly, I feel that this is mainly talking about needing to have faith, or kind of having to go off of blind faith or intuition or divine guidance in a way, because we have these two cards here. We have the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Wands. And with the Eight of Swords, it almost feels like it may be difficult to understand or unpack or come up with any solutions mentally. So it feels like rationality is not really going to help. But the Nine of Wands is definitely indicating that there is this need to hang in there. There is this need to stay strong and to keep the faith that things are going to move forward, that things are going to work out, even if you can't see how. And I do feel that there is this, again, this blind faith that is needed, or this blind belief that you are going to receive a solution, you're going to receive an opportunity, something is going to become clear, and then you can make a move. Because the Eight of Swords, you can even see how there is a seeming blindfold on this woman. And even though she isn't actually blindfolded, it feels as though her hands are tied and her eyes are shut, and she can't see a way forward. So yeah, it just feels like the month of July may be one where, again, you sort of have to go off of intuition, you have to go off of some sort of instincts rather than rationality, rather than being able to come up with solutions, come up with ideas rationally or just with your mind. So yeah, it does feel like a more of a spiritually inclined month, July. So yeah, that's really all I'm feeling here. And now we get to the month of August. And this one feels kind of like a two-in-one message, because I do feel that it is talking about the general energy of the month and at the same time a more specific event. So more generally, it does feel like the month of August is going to be more family oriented. You are most likely going to have to spend more time on family matters or with your family. Maybe a very specific sort of family member, maybe they need more of your attention or more of your energy and yeah, more of your resources, whatever those are. But as I said, a more specific event could also take place. So there could be a family reunion. It could be some sort of family meeting that you have to attend. Maybe there is some sort of get together, or again, something that you need to celebrate, something that you have to maybe even travel for as well if you don't live close to your family. But yeah, it definitely feels like you are kind of having to put things on hold for this family focused energy, because we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the Ace of Wands, which are both coming out in reverse, and we get two aces. So that's quite meaningful. And what this is saying is that most likely there are going to be some sort of delays or just things being postponed. And I do feel that it's tied to some form of new beginnings that you are either trying to initiate or maybe even some sort of opportunities. You may be getting certain opportunities in the month of August, but you may be unable to accept them in the month of August because of this family attention that you have to give to your family members or to a family situation or something like that. It doesn't feel like you are necessarily missing out on anything, so I don't want you to worry in that sense, but I do feel that it may just delay certain things, and you kind of have to put certain things on hold. But yeah, okay, we only have the 4 last months left, so let's take a look and see what September, October, November and December have in store for you. So pile number 3, let's look at the month of September, which is represented by this card over here. I have to say it's one of my favorite cards in the Oracle deck. And so honestly, for the most part, it feels like the month of September is actually quite nice and sort of steady. This card talks about friendship specifically, so it may be that in the month of September you feel inclined to reach out to some more friends, or maybe some friends reach out to you. Maybe you decide to spend some more time socializing or doing something cool with your friends. But I am getting more of a specific message as well. I do feel that some of you may decide to take on some extra responsibility in the month of September. Maybe, very literally, you decide to get a pet of some kind, maybe a dog or a cat. But it doesn't have to be that literal. It could just be that you decide to take on something extra, something to take care of, something to look after, something to maintain. Anything like that. Or it could even be that maybe a friend asks you for a favor, and I mean, it definitely feels like you want to help them out, but it may just put some extra strain on you and what you are doing, because we have the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Swords here. And so it does feel like there is quite a lot for you to deal with, or quite a lot for you to do in the month of September. The Two of Pentacles, again, can hint at something extra being added to your plate, or where you have to manage things and juggle things so that everything could get taken care of. And with the Five of Swords, as I said, it could mean that there is some sort of conflict or tension that accompanies it. Maybe it is very literally a bit of a headache for you to get everything sorted, or make everything fit into your schedule. So it may be somewhat of an extra pressure, but at the same time, with the Two of Pentacles coming out upright, it definitely feels like you are handling things. You are able to take care of everything that you need to take care of. Again, if we come back to this specific example of a friend asking you for a favor, it may be something that puts you out in a way, or is just like a bit of a nuisance. But again, I don't feel like it's anything too drastic or too serious, too overbearing. But yeah, and also I feel like giving a message regarding, again, the more specific scenario of potentially deciding to start taking care of a pet or something like that. It may cause a bit more difficulty or a bit more issues, especially at the beginning, than you anticipated. So just in general, it feels like there is quite a lot that you are doing in the month of September. It feels like, again, generally you seem to be handling things fine and everything seems like you are on track, but it could just be that you get these situations where things are a bit of a headache, where they're a bit of an annoyance, and you kind of have to deal with them. But I have to say, moving forward, it definitely seems like it's picking up, or at the very least, there seems to be a shift in energies when we get to the month of October. We have this card over here, which honestly doesn't maybe look the most positive or the most hopeful. We have this desert landscape, or this dried up land. But honestly, the only thing that I'm feeling here is that you get to some sort of a point where maybe you feel a bit like you have given a bit too much of yourself, and maybe you feel like you are starting to reach a limit, and so you decide to change things around. And I also feel, on the other hand, that it may signify a specific situation where things finally turn around for the better, or where maybe the new beginnings that you have put on hold start moving, or maybe things finally start taking off, because we have the Ace of Swords here, and you officially have all aces that exist in the tarot on the table here, and the Ace of Swords is the only one that came out upright. And so I do feel that all of these other aces, which have signified, delays and things sort of slowing down and all of that, or not feeling quite right, the Ace of Swords is indicating that something is finally going to click into place, something starts making sense, or again, that maybe you get a vital piece of information. Maybe you get an opportunity of some kind. Sorry, there are so many cards on the table that I feel like the camera just doesn't know what to focus on. So it's kind of difficult to get these cards to look sharp. But anyway, with the Ace of Swords here, it definitely feels like there is either an aha moment, a eureka moment, something where things just kind of click into place. You have clarity, you have a vital piece of information that allows you to start making some real steps to start moving things along. And I do feel that with the King of Wands in reverse and the Wheel as well, that again, it's almost like there is a shift and things start moving forward, things start going in the right direction again, or it almost feels like your luck is shifting and things are starting to work out for you again with a bit more ease. With the King of Wands coming out in reverse, again, it feels like this energy of stretching yourself thin or pouring too much of your energy out into things is something that you are kind of stopping. So again, I feel like in the month of October, there is this brick wall, metaphorically, that you are hitting that is kind of forcing you to change pace or, again, start doing things differently. And I feel like especially when it comes to some of the things that haven't quite been satisfactory, or where you maybe have felt that you haven't quite gotten the right solution, or things haven't really moved along exactly the way that you had wanted them to, or the way that you had hoped them to. I feel like there is a massive turnaround in the month of October, where it almost feels like literally the wheel is turning in your favor, and again, either like the right sort of opportunity comes your way, or things finally take off, or things start moving along in a more rapid pace. And yeah, you can kind of come out of this space where you have done everything that you have needed to do, and where you have kept going, but maybe where you haven't felt like things are, again, the way that you want them to be. So I really, really love this shift that is happening in the month of October, and definitely keep your eyes open for it, because I feel like you will definitely notice it. It will be something quite like dramatic, but dramatic in a good way. Now, moving on to the month of November, we have this really happy looking sun with an umbrella. Honestly, again, this just feels to me like things are starting to really take off, and again, it almost feels like life is kind of cradling you, or life is helping you out. The universe is helping you out. Things are starting to turn around, and in a really positive way. So it almost feels like you are safe, like you are being protected, because this card is literally a card of protection and things succeeding, things working out in your favor. So especially with the Two of Wands in reverse with the Three of Wands, it feels like this whole period of stagnating, or just kind of planning but not necessarily getting anywhere, or the maybe delayed starts and all of that we were looking at before, it feels like all of that is coming to an end. And with the Three of Wands, things are finally starting to move forward, and you are making some strides, because the Three of Wands is moving swiftly towards the Four of Wands, which is all about reaching a milestone. And the Three of Wands is also a card of expansion. So again, it feels like things are really starting to accelerate and take off by the end of the year. So it feels like it's just sort of moving forward and getting better. Especially, I mean, I really love the months October and November. I feel like those are going to be really, really positive. Now, finally, we get to the month of December, and we have this beautiful, cozy image of a living room. And I do feel that there is some form of feeling at home, or feeling a sense of belonging, or like things are finally in a way that you want them to be. And of course, this is not saying that you are getting to a place where it's like the end all be all, but it definitely feels like you are getting someplace. It's a milestone. It's something to celebrate. It's something to cherish, and something to feel good about, and something to be proud of yourself for. Because I do feel like a level of achievement here, or where you, again, it's like you finally feel at home, you finally feel at ease, like all of this hard work that you have been doing, all of this learning, all of this coming out of your comfort zone, all of this relying on faith and working things out internally and dealing with what you need to deal with. All of it has led to some form of feeling good about yourself, feeling proud of yourself, feeling a sense of accomplishment. So I really, really love it. Now, we do have the Sun card and the Five of Cups. Obviously, the Sun card is a really self-explanatory kind of card, because again, it's signifying happiness and joy and fulfillment and success and all of the goodness that exists, all of the good feelings. It's the happiest card in tarot, and so obviously, it's a really welcome card. And now, even though the Five of Cups may feel somewhat alarming, I don't feel like it's actually that deep. It just more so feels like there is a bittersweet moment to it. Maybe you are looking back on some of the things, some of the experiences, and that may be something that causes this slight sense of like melancholy, or needing to say goodbye to something, because I do feel like you are definitely growing and evolving quite a lot through the year 2026, and I feel like the end of 2026 is going to be vastly different from the beginning of 2026. So I feel like it's this massive journey that you are going to be going through, and you are most likely going to be in a whole other place in your life by the end of the year. And so that may be the reason why this Five of Cups is here. So there may be this like bittersweet victory type moment, but it could also signify, and maybe this is more of a specific message, but I do feel that maybe the opportunity that you were presented with could potentially take you someplace that is further away, or that requires you to leave something behind, leave something familiar behind. Even though with the Sun, it feels like if this is an opportunity that you are getting, especially with the Three of Wands as well, it may herald a move or traveling or something like that. And if that's the case, it feels like it may be a dream come true for you, or some sort of a wish fulfillment with the Sun here, something that really makes you happy and fulfilled and challenges you in the best way. And it feels really, really positive, but it does seem to require a sacrifice of some kind. So you may have to, move, you may have to leave something behind, or change something about the situation that you are in. And so that may be the reason why this Five of Cups is here as well. But again, the Sun is the most powerful. It's a major arcana card as well. So generally, it definitely feels like the goodness, the happiness is going to win out, even if there is a slight note of melancholy in it as well. So, wow, pile number 3, I honestly have to say, I feel like your year is in some sense going to be like the most powerful out of all of the 3 piles that we have gone through, or that we have done. So yeah, I'm really excited for the adventure that I feel like you're about to embark upon in 2026. And definitely let me know how these messages resonate for you, if anything materializes and actually happens the way that these messages were coming through. I would really, really be interested to know. But we're almost done with the reading, and thank you so much if you're still here, if you're hanging in there. We are also going to get you some beautiful affirmation cards from this cute little frog deck. And these messages are going to be what Spirit wants you to focus on in the year 2026. So some of these mantras, some of these affirmations to take with you and to really hold in your heart. They should really help you go through that year. So let's see what we get. Okay. Wow, these cards were flying all over the place, and there were just way too many, like half a pack was coming out. So yeah, I didn't really want to take all of them. But anyway, we got the 3 cards, and I don't know why, but I feel called to also look at the underlying energy. I haven't done that for any of the other piles, but for some reason I feel like we should really do that for you. So the underlying energy says, I am on my own timeline. I will not compare my journey to anyone else's. And yeah, I mean, this is such a powerful one, especially in times when we feel a bit lagging, where we feel stuck, where we feel less than because we compare ourselves to other people and where they are at. You know, comparing that to our expectations is a very dangerous it's a very dangerous combo, right? And so this reminder, I feel, is such a beautiful one. And you are definitely on your own timeline, pile number 3. It feels like you are again making some strides and definitely accelerating on your journey in the year 2026. But yeah, I just feel like it's such a beautiful and necessary reminder. Okay, so we have I am not my past as the first card out. Again, such a beautiful, beautiful reminder. It's so freeing, I feel, as well. I am not my past. So again, everything that you have gone through, the struggles, the challenges, the seeming failures, things that you feel guilty about, things that you are still angry about, all of those things, even though they are experiences that yes, are a part of your life journey and are part of your story, they don't have to define your future. And again, you don't have to identify with what has happened to you in the past. So this is just such a beautiful, freeing sort of message. We also have, I know that my thoughts are not always true. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love this for you. I feel like this is especially potent because we have been talking about some of the spiraling thoughts and the fears and the insecurities that may be sometimes overwhelming, and some of these inner demons that you may have been fighting. I feel like we kind of started the reading off with that. And so this is just such a beautiful reminder, especially when you feel yourself starting to falter or, again, get into a spiral of some kind. I know that my thoughts are not always true. I love this message. And finally, we have, I can be empathetic without being consumed by struggles that are not mine to carry. I feel like this is such a necessary message, especially because it feels like you are going to be dealing with quite a lot of other people's stuff as well. And it may be a really necessary reminder to not allow yourself to get swept up in it, to not take other people's stuff on as your own. Beautiful, beautiful messages. And pile number 3, I hope that you felt the same way. I hope that these messages were interesting to you. Most of all, I hope that they were fun or just entertaining to listen to. And if you are still here, by the way, if you made it all the way to this point, I know this was a long ass reading, but if you are still here, then leave me a little lemon. You know, I don't know. I was looking at the citrus and yeah, I don't know. I mean, even though this is an orange, clearly, I was feeling a lemon. So leave me a little lemon in the comment section so that I would know that you made it all the way to this point, that you're still here and that you enjoyed this reading. And yeah, it would be super interesting to see if you happen to come back throughout the year and check in and let me know how some of these messages have resonated for you or they haven't resonated for you. I would be really, really interested to know. So I hope to see you in the comment section. But I want to give a quick little overview as well of what's to come. So, you know, just to give you a heads up and keep you in the loop. If you are not interested in that, then bye. The reading is officially over. But for those of you who are wanting to, you know, who are regularly checking in and who are interested in like me as well, then just to give you the information and the heads up that I'm going to be taking some time off from the channel and just spending time with my family and enjoying the holidays and kind of just taking a breather, needing to needing to recharge myself and you know, get some fresh inspiration, get some new ideas, something like that, get new motivation as well. Hopefully you can understand that. And by the way, if you have noticed that I haven't been uploading as regularly as I used to, it's because of some time constraints and also some health issues. I'm not going to get into the details of it. It's nothing serious, but it just has kind of taken its toll, and it has all sort of accumulated. And yeah, it's just been an annoyance. So that's why there have been some missed uploads, but hopefully the fact that these last 2 readings have been a lot more lengthy have compensated for some of these missed uploads, and hopefully you get where I'm coming from, and you understand. So yeah, thank you anyway. Thank you so much for the year. Thank you so much for your support, for your comments, for your likes, your subscribes. If you are still here hanging out with me, I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate your beautiful energy, and I do hope that you will come back in 2026 and check out the new uploads. I don't exactly know when I'm going to be uploading a new video, but keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. And I do really hope to see you soon back on this channel. So have an amazing 2026 and all the best to you. Take care. Bye-bye.